love is drawn to love. Stand up for truth, lift up your voices. Love is drawn to love. Follow your heart, you'll see the choices. Love is drawn to love. Love is drawn to love. Love is drawn to love. Love, love, love is drawn to love. Love is drawn to love. Love is drawn to love. Love, love, love is drawn to love. Love, love, love is drawn to love. Love is drawn to love. Love is drawn to
Love is drawn to love. Love draws our good to us, which is how love allows us to live better, more good, more better. I ran across this, I think on Facebook this week, and as I was putting my message together, this was kind of in the back of my mind, and last night after I thought I was finished, this again came into mind and thought, I think I'm supposed to share this with you folks. And I think this is the point of what I'm trying to convey this morning. So if you don't remember anything else, then take this little truth with you, because if you don't love all it is, it doesn't change all it is. It just means you have a little less love in your life. So the next time it snows, keep this in mind. We're talking about love this month, and we're going to start out with the metaphysics of love, because Charles understood love as significantly more than what we celebrated on Valentine's Day. Love is the essence of being. Charles Fillmore wrote that love binds together the whole human family. It joins us in divine harmony with the universe and everything in it. Love is the greatest harmonizing principle. Think about harmony. If we could be in harmony with ourselves and each other, wouldn't life be a beautiful song? Divine love is impersonal. That seems a little counterintuitive. But it doesn't love because of anything that happens outside of itself. Love loves for the sake of loving. It's not concerned with who or what it loves or getting love in return. Love is an abundance of caring and harmony and goodness that just can't help itself. Like the sun, it's the joy of shining that is its nature. this is what I was talking to the children about. Love is an inner quality that sees good everywhere and in everybody. It insists that all is good. And this is really key. And goes back to love is drawn to love. By refusing to see anything but good, love causes that quality finally to appear uppermost in itself and in all things. It's all good. It's all good. It's all God. And so, if we refuse to accept anything less, we increase the goodness in what we behold. And we come back around to love as the harmonizer, the healer. Divine love will bring your own to you and adjust all misunderstandings and make your life and affairs healthy, happy, harmonious, and free. Healthy, happy, harmonious, and free. That's, I'd like to have some of that, please. Thank you. This slide is the teachings of Charles Fillmore, co-founder of Unity. That's what brings us here together today. That's what we celebrate, and it's what we teach. And this month we're focusing on that being what we live. How do we know that life is better with love? People have actually done research on this stuff. Love, and especially unconditional love, which means it's that impersonal love that just loves because it can help itself. Children who are loved unconditionally have healthier brain development. They flourish when they're the recipients of unconditional love. It also creates an enhanced ability to forge positive relationships. It makes us feel safe and secure to be loved unconditionally. We're not as wary or fearful. So the positive relationships just unfold easily from that. Unconditional love gives us greater stress resilience. We can handle the little slings and arrows of outrageous fortune because we have been loved totally and completely. And it even gives us a stronger immune system. And this time of year, that's gold. Right up there with vitamin C, right, Phil? I found this checklist of positive effects of unconditional love on the Newport Academy website in an article titled "The Power of Unconditional Love." We're going to look at 3 aspects of unconditional love. I think that's right. Yeah, I decided on 3 of them. Sometimes I forget what the final answer was. So we're going to first look at loving yourself unconditionally. And I got some help from Deepak Chopra. I thought he was a pretty good authority. This comes from a website called Oprah.com. Is that interesting? She's one of Deepak Chopra's main cheerleaders. An article, How to Love Yourself Unconditionally. And he comes up with 7 steps which I am going to share with you briefly, but I'm going to put the results of my research definitely on our Facebook group page. And if I can figure out, with Richard's help, we'll put it on the website too, so that you'll have these to refer back to. Loving ourselves unconditionally really is the foundation for living love and living better. First of all, making contact with our inner selves is part of that loving ourselves unconditionally. And I wager that you wouldn't be here this morning if you didn't already know something about this step. The next step is honestly facing our inner obstacles and resistance, those things that get in our way. The first step in healing is to look inside and let the process of releasing begin. We don't have to drag those obstacles around with us. And there are lots of healing avenues that can help us. Therapy and massage and support groups, energy work. Then, once we give up our resistance, we surface old wounds. And we deal with those. And again, we seek support. Nobody can do this work alone. Especially when we go into the dark places where the wounds often hide. A close friend, a mentor, confidant, or therapist can help you deal with your old wounds. You need someone to love you unconditionally as you learn to love yourself that way. And then once we have dealt with old wounds, we can forgive our past. Forgive whatever it took to survive the difficulties that we may have faced. Which makes it much easier to accept where you are right now. This isn't a stage you want to jump into too quickly, like the previous stages, because the present moment isn't free of burdens, memories, and wounds of the past. But when the past comes and taps you on the shoulder and wants to take you back, it's okay to just take a breath and say, I don't go there anymore. I don't do that anymore. Because the truth is, you don't have to. This may be the most joyful step in loving yourself unconditionally, is you get to form relationships where you feel loved and appreciated. It seems like a no-brainer, but when we don't love ourselves, sometimes we think we don't deserve this. We're often looking for someone to complete us. It's kind of one of the themes of Valentine's Day. And it's one of the reasons it's kind of gotten a bad rap in the last few years, is that more and more we realize that that's not the answer. Instead of finding the one who will make us whole, we can become the one who makes us whole. We can become that which we seek. And finally, we practice the kind of love that we want to receive. Like attracts like. Love is drawn to love. And the more you live your own ideal of love, the more light that you draw to you. And Chopra says that this one point of the 7 has helped the most people to find love in their lives. Loving yourself the way you want to be loved. Once we learn to love ourselves unconditionally, then it's time to love reality unconditionally. How many of you have read Byron Katie's work? Yeah, I thought so. Gosh, do you know she did that in 2002? I didn't realize it'd been that long. She wrote Loving What Is. If you want to check that out. She's quoted as saying, "I don't like suffering, and so I don't argue with reality." Think how much trouble you could save yourself if you could just make that commitment. She offers something she calls the work, which involves 4 questions and a recommendation. She says that arguing with reality is never successful, and trying to make yourself love reality doesn't really work either, because we can come up with a reason not to for every rationale that we should. So in order that we don't should on ourselves, we use the questions, the work. So first, identify something that you don't love. This morning we had spiders, snakes, and dangerous animals. Yours might be a little less tangible. Something that you don't love. And the first question that Katie has us consider is it true? Are spiders bad? And after you've plumbed the depths of is it true, then you ask yourself, can I absolutely know that it's true? This probably is more valuable when we are when we're dealing with the less tangible questions. As a therapist, I can't tell you how many people, and I think most of them have been women, have come into my office and announced to me that God hates divorce. It's like, really? And it does. There is a tiny little place where it says that in the Bible, but I'd never run across it before. So, is it true? Well, there is one statement in the Bible that says that. But can I absolutely know that it's true? Well, it didn't seem to be like a big theme in Jesus' teaching, so maybe not. The third question is, how do I react when I think that thought? Most of the people I've known who asserted that were in a lot of pain. They didn't want their relationship to end, but their heart and mind and soul, and sometimes even their broken bodies, were telling them that something had to change. But you don't want to do something God hates. So, it doesn't feel good. And the final question is, who would I be without the thought? It's kind of an interesting way to think about it. If I didn't believe, and it was always easy for me because I didn't believe it when they started, so it's like, really? I don't think so, but really? They were convinced. And all my arguing wasn't really going to turn the tide, but the 4 questions allow people to look more deeply into what they know is true. And finally, Katie says, after you've asked the 4 questions, turn it around, which means make the statement about what you don't like into a positive. What if God doesn't hate divorce? Well, that's a whole different ballgame, isn't it? And it frees up energy and possibilities that the original thought did not allow. And then you just go home and chew on that. What if what I thought was so bad isn't the case? Reality suddenly becomes a kinder and gentler place to make our way in the world. Here are some spiritual implications of what it means to live better by living love. When we are living love, we're at our highest vibration and in our most elevated consciousness, which means we are our best selves. When I love completely, whether it's myself or reality, I am love. And we know that God is love. So when I'm living love, I'm expressing the divine most perfectly. And that's true for you as well. And the number one reason that living love makes life better is that love empowers me to see and affirm the Christ in you and in everything. And when that happens, the God in me lifts up and empowers the God in you. And it strengthens that in both of us. We bring each other to our highest brilliance and consciousness. And it just makes the world a better place. Our music team is going to help us prepare for meditation. This song. you allow your head to float up like a balloon on a string. Breathe and relax. As you inhale, follow your breath inside to that space where you know your oneness with God most deeply. Breathe into your oneness. Feel the expansiveness of your consciousness. As you breathe, feel your connection, your intrinsic unity with the divine. Breathe the truth that we are all one with all that is. We are one with all. God is love. God is all that is. In our highest Christ consciousness, we are one with love. We can love all that is. God is all that is. I am a unique expression of God. And God loves all that is through me, as me. I am one with God. I am pure love. I am all that is. I am. All that is loves through me, has me. All that is loves all that is through me, as me. As I breathe into my oneness with God, I am pure love, expressing as all that is. God is. I
truly loved. You're here to remind me how much I'm truly loved.
In the spiritual practice of generosity, we give to the source from which we receive our spiritual support. We're grateful for the many ways this center supports us in our spiritual growth, and we in turn are happy to support the center with our financial contributions and our voluntary service. Would the greeters please come forward? We want to remind you that you're welcome to write a confidential prayer request and turn it in with the love offering. There is an envelope you can do that in the chair back in front of you. And now let's use our abundance affirmation to reaffirm what we believe. Together,
I am abundant being, living in an abundant universe. God is the source of my supply.
I am not dependent on people or situations for my good. God is the source of my supply. I always have something to give, and I consistently give it. I expect the best, I give my best, and now I attract the best in every experience.
Peace in my life is growing because I choose love. Love's always present, it's what I'm made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one. One tie that binds us that can't be undone. I choose love. I choose love. Peace in my family is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one. One loving family, sharing one son. I choose love. I choose love. Peace for our planet is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are all part of each other. We are one. One choice unites us, and this be the one. I choose love. I choose love. I choose love.
Let us bless our offering received with these words. Together, divine love flowing through me,
blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
please join us for fellowship in the lobby after our service at our Holy Grounds and Unity Cafe.
The light, the seer and the sight.